Hi, good evening and welcome to the IBD Ostomy talk show. I'm Louise, aka Crohn's Biting. Apologise if we was a minute or so late, but Steve's still eating his kebab. Rachel's just signed on. Nat's just dropped in, and Steffi's back with us this evening as well. So, topic for tonight is going to be stoma bag necessity versus accessory, because there's been a lot of hoo-ha about that recently. And we are also covering the great debate of steroids, because that's been all over the news this week in media because of Dynamo, a stupid post from Sam Fryers, which I might have had a kick off about yesterday. And everybody's been doing their bit. And Natalie's been in the Metro as well with Jenna Farmer for her steroid face versus non-steroid face. It was a really good article.
Yeah, it was, I thought it was really good.
So what have I been up to this week? Well, lots. Had a letter diagnosis of perianal Crohn's added to my diagnosis list, which come through the post on Saturday. So yay me, find out the game plan on the 5th of April. Drugs aren't working. Been having issues with other bits and pieces. I just don't like talking about it until I have a definitive. Went to Maisie's end of half term school class thing today with cake and tea and being antisocial with the rest of the parents. And Maisie's team comes second, bless her. What else? Oh yeah, I'm going for lunch with my ex-mother-in-law tomorrow. Yay me! And I got the PW catwalk on Saturday, so I will pass you over to Rachel.
Hi, I'm Rachel. Welcome to Stomas. I've arrived at Birmingham today, and we got a little bit late because we just got some fish and chips. Last week, my laptop completely died, and it cost more than the laptop was worth. So I bought a new laptop. So I'm back on tonight. I was meant to meet up with Bristol Wessex Cancer to meet with urologists about they wanted to do videos for patients. But that fell through because the surgeon was away and there's problems with the train station. So I just came up to Birmingham instead, getting ready for the catwalk. It's been weird not having my laptop, so not working, and I've been a bit grumpy and difficult this week. I don't really know why, but hopefully that'll be better. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody at the catwalk. A bit nervous about going down there, but it's just nice meeting up with everybody. I always feel whenever I go to events like this, I always feel quite empowered because the majority of us have stomas, and there aren't many times in my life where we're in the majority. So I find it quite empowering going to them. And what else am I up to? I've got a busy couple of weeks, but I think I'm back to Bournemouth Tuesday and then back up to Birmingham for the Get Your Belly Out Ball, Manchester. And yeah, I think that's it. So I'll pass you over to Natalie.
Hi, good evening. It's Natalie.
Nat, you're getting a lot of feedback.
Oh, I can hear myself, yeah.
Where's your headphones, Nat?
I'm not sure. One sec. Ooh. I don't normally wear them anymore because it's just me in the house and it's quiet. Right, can you hear me now? Is that better?
I didn't want to speak things. I hate hearing myself in the feedback.
I know. When I started talking, I was like, oh no. Well, I've had a pretty crappy week. I've come down with a throat infection, which has been horrifically sore. So I've not been very well the past couple of days. I'm on antibiotics now, which seem to be starting to help, although they have obviously messed with my output. So that's lovely shade of green at the moment. Luckily, they're not making my stomach too painful or anything. So that's a good thing because I'm on them for like 10 days as well. So it's not a short course. What else have I done? Not a lot apart from sleep. I got my latest uni assignment back and I got an 80 on that. So I was really, really chuffed. I've just got 2 more to do, and Stair signed up for my next modules from October, which will be one's about counselling and one is to do with psychology and mental health and the brain, I think it's called, but it goes into sort of like addiction and depression and stuff. So they both look really interesting anyway, so I'm quite excited about that. And then we got the first bit of stuff back when we went on that salt shoot the other week. We've got the sort of the paper bit. We've not seen the video yet, but they've done our interview, and there's a photo of us on there, and that they're going to be, it's just an internal thing, so a lot of it's just going to be shared with the salt staff. It's all to do with showing them what the new bags are and how they're working for people and stuff like that. But they have given me permission to share it, but I've got to wait till the end of the month when their sort of internal thing's gone out. So you will see it eventually. I think that's about it. Not really done an awful lot more. Been to see my grandma on the weekend. She's not very well. Had the boys, which was lovely. And yeah, that's about it. I missed my appointment on Tuesday. Tuesday I started to feel really rubbish. I hadn't got a sore throat or anything then. But I just couldn't stay awake. And I dozed off in the morning, woken up, and then I dozed off about 11:30. Didn't think to set my alarm because I was just sort of sleeping on and off, and ended up waking up at 4:15 and was like, oops. So yeah, I missed that, but I've got in touch and we're going to reschedule it just to find out the results from my MRI and sort of what we do next with my knee, basically. But yeah, that's about it. I'll pass you over to Steffi. He's back.
Hi everyone. Yeah, I've obviously not been on for a while due to mental health and stuff, which still is pretty crappy. I think no matter where you are in the country, the mental health teams are severely underfunded. No matter how much they try and help you, there's a limit because they just don't have the funding or the staff. But we're trying to get a plan put in place for like May, so it's not too far away. I hopefully start my new job next week. I'm just finishing off the next month, just finishing off the last part of the police check. So if any of you have had to have police checks like DBS, CBS before, CRB even, you'll know they take forever.
Yeah, CRB, some of the longest waits for those can be anything up to 12 weeks for it to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they try and do DBSs now, which are usually back within 4. So, and I'm on the last stage now, and it was just a bit annoying that it all got put through. I sent everything they needed in February before I went into hospital, and then I got out of hospital, found out they hadn't done anything with it, so that was a bit shitty. Excuse my French.
Le shitty.
I failed my. Oh well, that's just more practice, you know, because I'm going to Paris next month, courtesy of Purple Wings. Because they gave me a hotel voucher, so we picked Paris. I failed my theory again twice in like the space of a week. I was really annoyed, which is the main reason I'm not coming to the catwalk anymore, because it would cost too much by the train. And I've had a lot of people message me saying, you know, just go by yourself, you know everyone there. And I'm like, that's not the point. I want my family to see me do it, and like that bit of pride. What else? Jacob started nursery, if anyone's seen that on my Instagram, and that and Lyra Beth didn't start till she was 1.5 years. So this is like, I feel like I've lost a limb. But yeah, well, I'm hopefully gonna be helping my doctor's surgery out with working on like their reviews of prescriptions for stoma patients. Because I went in to complain yesterday, because Securicare were ringing me up every 6 weeks for my prescription, and then they would ring me up like 2 days before my prescription would be, my bags would be sent out. saying, your GP have sent you a completely different prescription, and they'd be adding stuff that I haven't had on there for over a year and a half. And I was like, well, why? So I went in to complain, and he was like, this guy was just really impressed that I knew what I was talking about when it came to my own stuff, that I work relatively close to the guidelines that the NHS have out for our area. And I've offered to help him if he needs it with anything. He was looking at my YouTube channel and stuff yesterday and my blog, so hopefully I don't care if it's not paid. I just want to be able to understand the whole system, because I'm working through the results on what people decided was essentials or accessories that Rachel and I created the survey for, and then I implemented it. So I'm just working through that. Don't worry, Steve, she's not doing the analytics yet. She's not doing too much, I promise. But I'll be posting the results of that soon. And thank you to everyone for taking part in that. So, and I think that's it. I'm gonna pass you over to Baghdaddy Steve.
Hi, I'm Baghdad, the daddy of the bag, Steve. Welcome back, Steph. Good to see you, mate. Hi, girls.
Hi.
We're a full house.
Say again.
We're a full house.
I know, yeah, and we are a full house. And you're in the other room. I can hear you through the door.
Is that loud?
What have I been doing this week? Working, getting up really early in the morning, not enough hours in the night. Painting floors at work. Not a lot, really. There's been a definite change in my health. My hernia's kind of growing, feeling different, getting a lot more pain. I think I overdid it we had to do a lot of taping off the floors before painting the floors, and I think I kind of strained it. You know, when you've done too many sit-ups.
Yeah.
Kind of like that feeling in my tummy, and I don't do sit-ups anymore. I can't do them. I haven't got the strength there no more. But I've been sort of feeling quite a bit of pain there. There's something changing. Luckily, I've got a few appointments with consultants over the next month. I've got about 5 appointments. So we're going to talk about my operation. We're going to start the ball rolling. That's pretty much it, really. I haven't kind of done any more. Got a surprise today. I had a little surprise today with Rachel taking a picture of herself sitting in my settee while I'm at work. I was expecting her tonight. That was nice. That's me done, really. I think I don't think I got any news.
Steve, did they say to you how long the next part of your op's going to take to do? It's
a 3-part op, isn't it? I'm going to have my hernia. Well, I'm going to have my stoma moved to the other side. I'm going to have my hernia repaired, and I'm having my rectum removed. So it's quite a big op.
Yeah, but do you know how many hours it is?
No idea. They've got pretty good surgeons there, so I really don't know. They're obviously going to go in open wound again, so it's more than likely going to be a quicker operation than not. But, you know, they're dealing with nerves in a very sort of specific area, so I suppose they've got to... I have no idea.
Okay.
But I found out some good news that last year... My surgery was halted because I was off work for 5 weeks with arthritis flare, and I found out that this year, because I'm in my 6th year of work there, perhaps entering the 7th year, I got like 14 weeks paid leave now, so which is good news. Whereas before it was 6, now it's 14 weeks, which gives me a bit more recovery time, so I won't have to sort of delve into the savings.
No, that's
which is good, and it's going to be in the summer, and I'm going to do it through the summer, so I get my 2 weeks holiday back. Not stupid, you know.
No, because I'm going to ask the questions when I go in on the 5th, because I've got a joint appointment with the GI and the surgeon, but I just want to know how long the op's going to take.
I'm not sure. You know what? It doesn't concern me at all. The recovery concerns me more than anything. You know, I know that it's not like it's not as easy as just a wound to heal, isn't it? Because of the area in which the wound is. I'll have 2 wounds to heal, won't I?
Sorry, Steve. I had mine done all in one, and it didn't. I didn't take that long to heal. I would say about a month maximum.
Really?
And I had another hospital admission in that time. And loads of people suggest donut rings. I didn't have any of that. It might not be the nicest thing, but if you're bleeding a lot from there while it's healing, you can always use some sanitary. Get Rachel to grab some sanitary towels from the shop. Nobody else needs to know that's what you. But it works.
This is it. Fingers crossed. It's you know, I'm sort of hoping for the best. You know, you just got to put your hands in there. You know, they're capable hands, and that's it. And you got to just be positive, I suppose.
No, I'm just.
I don't know many people that haven't that have had it done all in one. To be honest, most people I know seem to have it done in 2, whereas we knew that I was going in for an end ileostomy straight away because I had to fight for it.
My
because
issue
my J-pad
really
was so bad.
My issue was I wanted it. I don't want more than 1 absences. You know, I want to sort of just get it over and done with. You know what I mean? I can't be going in and out of hospital, considering that I'm quite healthy. Really, you know, I just want to get it done, get healed up, and that's me done.
Yeah, I'm just curious because I've got Crohn's in the uterus, and there's stuff sticking to places where it shouldn't be. I've got Crohn's in another place. So for me to have it all done, then there's other bits that might have to be taken out, and that's what they've got to consider, because I could end up having a full hysterectomy at the same time because of where it's sticking to. So I'm a little bit.
And then it'll be longer then, Louise, because when I had the cystectomy and my bladder was moved and the urostomy, they tried to fix the relapse at the same time. I was in for Mum and Dad said I was in for about 12 hours. It was just massive. It was huge surgery because they were going to swap over and they never did. And I think when they do add extra stuff to remove, it naturally takes longer. Yeah, and then you have the intensive care.
Yeah, I'm just curious because obviously I know my habit of what happens when I'm down on the table, especially if I'm down for an extended period of time. I mean, when I had my resection and because of all the abnoplasty and everything I had to have done at the time, I think I was down for something like 11 hours. I think I was on the theatre table for. And because of all the scar tissue that keeps coming back because of the Crohn's, I'm just slightly worried about the whole thing, to be fair.
I think you just have to hope for the best, you know. Knowing how long it's going to take, how is that going to benefit? It would make me more worried, that would. I mean, myself, I would rather not know until afterwards. That's because I would start analysing things and wondering, you know.
Yeah, but I have to know.
Do you like to know, do you?
Yeah, I have to put my mind at rest, if that makes any sense. If I know roughly how long it's going to take, what they're doing and what's happening, it sort of puts my mind more at rest rather than me thinking that they're going in blind.
Right.
Hopefully in April they'll be able to you'll be able to discuss it, and then once you know, it might put your mind at rest. But
they'll be the best people to ask. They'll know what they're doing, and they'll be able to tell you what you need to know, I think.
Yeah.
Well, the waiting's hard because it's like I'm waiting. I got to see my surgeon in June. He wants to do another flexi-sig to do mine, and mine is extremely risky. Like he's already doesn't want to do it. I'm pushing him to do it because the bleeding is ridiculous and the weight loss, but he doesn't want to do it. And he said that if he refers me to St. Mark's, they will refuse because of all the complications that's happened. So it's like I feel a bit like I'm a bit lost because I don't know when it's going to be. I can't really plan, and I'm trying to convince him to do it because if he doesn't do it, then it's like a ticking time bomb for me because it's what causes this. So it can be frustrating the waiting when you don't know exactly when it is.
No, it's kind of like also, you know, with the adhesions and with yourself, Rachel, it's sometimes they don't know what they're going to find until they go in.
No, exactly.
You know, it's very, very exploratory until they actually see what they're dealing with. And then I mean, they could go in there with the intention of doing a 6-hour operation, and it could turn into 12, 13 hour, depending on, once they've opened you up, they've got to do something, haven't they?
Well, when I went in to have my cesarean with Jacob, they actually had everything ready to put me under general anaesthetic if what's the thing they put in your back, the epidural, wore off. before they were able to sterilise me. They had everything ready because they didn't know what they were going to expect. And I genuinely believe that most of the pain I'm in is because the woman hacked around, the guy that delivered Lyra Beth couldn't understand why she messed around like she did. And
with the epidural.
And like like when she was inside trying to clip my ovary.
Right,
she's like, because the first time she leant over the gown and turned around and said, "Oh, am I being stupid, or have you already had one of your ovaries removed?" And I was like, and Stephen had been asked to leave by this point, so I was like panicking, and she just obviously raked around and messed up all the scar tissue that was already there, because my insides are pretty much of a mess regarding scarring anyway. But then again, I had 4 surgeries on my lower stomach, and 2 of them were C-sections. So, but even with C-sections, if you've had bowel issues, they don't know what they're going to expect. I mean, the same with when Louise, when she woke up with a stoma, her first stoma, after having Maisie, they didn't expect it to perforate, did they, Liam?
No, they didn't know where my fistula was, so they could never locate the original source of the fistula, and they just cut straight through it when they did my C-section. Well, I say cut straight through it, they ripped through it, because they used their hands to rip in the end. They got the colorectal team in, that's how I ended up where I ended up now, to be fair. Yeah.
Who'd be a surgeon, eh? Not me.
Yeah, but do you know what? Fistulas is one of the things that's not spoken about a lot with Crohn's or IBD as a whole, because it's such an enigma, because most of them, you can't, they say, oh, whack you on immunosuppressants, and they never work. They don't work in closing up the fistula. They never do. So
I mean, how come some people get fistulas and others don't? Is there a main contributing factor that causes them?
It's the type of disease that you've got. Fistulas can be caused by having an op. Fistulas can be caused by the bowel just not coping. So because the bowel's not coping, or because it's wearing down, then scar tissue tunnels off into other organs. Fistulating Crohn's disease as a whole is a total enigma. I don't think they actually know what causes the fistulas. They have reasons as to why they could happen, but this is why I'm querying so much about surgery, because of the type of Crohn's that I've got. If I have specifics removed, then, and because of the surgery, I could end up with more fistulas replacing what was taken out, and it's not something that I really want to be fair. So
my friend Hitch, he lives down your way actually, Louise. He told me that last couple of years that he got a fistula and it's come out through his back.
Wow.
And he had a J pouch done when he was about 14 due to ulcerative colitis. So he'd have been 28, 29 when the fistula came about, and he's had no more surgery. And he just said it feels like wind is going past it. He doesn't seem, as far as I'm aware, he doesn't get the mucus and stuff that comes out of it, but they won't do any surgery on it.
Was that naturally?
Deal with it.
Did that happen naturally, or did that? Because I get confused, because obviously I'm not IBDs. I'm not as clued up as you guys. Like, some people have fistulas, some people, and then you got the fistulas like in the rectum area, and then you got the fistulas on that pseudoscletus, and I get confused.
There's a difference.
Well, I'm not sure, because it was like a good 15 years nearly after his surgery, and he had a temporary ileostomy, and then he had that removed like 3 to 6 months later.
How high up his back would this be?
I'm not sure. I never asked. I might have to message him actually.
Above his bottom. You'd imagine it'd be sort of round about the lower back, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think it's come from near his J pouch. So.
It is an enigma.
But he's otherwise very fit and healthy, and he does boxing and stuff. He's like you, Steve. He doesn't let it keep him down.
fistulas are just an enigma with themselves, but the ones that they do for surgery, I think that's normally just different surgeons do surgery different ways. So some of them do a certain type of ileostomy or colostomy, but they'll have the mucus fistula as a release next to the stoma. So I'm presuming this is so the patients don't have the rectal discharge as much.
Okay.
Because I know Val Pollard, I think Val Pollard has a mucus fistula along with her ileostomy and her colostomy. I don't know, it's just an enigma as its whole, but drugs don't work to close it up. The only way is the seton or to have it scraped down and left open, or it perforates. There's not really any other options for a fistula because they're reluctant to take them out because they don't know where they start and how much bowel they go through.
They're like canals, aren't they? Because my friend who hasn't got IBD, but she had loads of fistulas. She's had so many surgeries, like the suture stitches and the
like
different
little channels, in there between one area to another.
They can go recto-vaginally as well and stuff. Because we thought I had one last year, but thankfully when I had my colposcopy to remove the abnormal cells I had, they couldn't see anything. So it was just a weird happenings.
I just realised we've gone off a little bit on a tangent this evening. Steve, what kind of bag are you using?
Right then. This is what I'm using. It's the Mio Concave. It's an amazing bag. I'm not just saying that because I advocate it. I've got a hernia. My hernia is getting bigger. It's the only bag that I've found that I've never had a leak in since I've trialed it. I've never been worried about a leak. It's the star shape on the back that does it, the way that it pops into a concave. You see that?
I see.
See, it comes like that, which I thought, oh, it's convex. That's not right.
This is.
But then it flips.
Sorry, Steve.
I think it must be really easy to put on because I saw that demonstrated on the advert. And I thought that's actually really good.
You know what? You could fit it on a bowling ball. You could fit it on a bowling ball, and because it's like a hand, it grips. And you know, I'm not gonna lie. It's the best bag I've tried, and I love it to bits. I wouldn't go back to another one.
Steve, just out of curiosity, would pregnant women, you know, obviously going through the stages of pregnancy, would that be something that would benefit them better than other stoma bags? My
opinion, definitely. It's a curve, isn't it? Especially with a you know the curve of a pregnant lady's stomach. It's curved. It's designed to fit that. You know what I mean?
But it depends if they use. This is the issue that some people are having, because some people are messaging us saying they have a hernia but the bag doesn't fit, and I think because there's no platform to it, if you need a convex and you're pregnant and you need a convex, you might find that a renal protective seal can help, but some people are finding they're having leaks. Like I can't use mine without using a protective seal because otherwise I get leaks, and that's because I need that slight convexity, because when I lay down at night, my prolapse sinks in flush to the skin, and I think so. It's not going to work for everybody, but it is an amazing bag, and it's so comfortable. Just fits around the hernia.
I mean, what are you using, Rach?
I use the concave, the Mio Concave with a protective seal and base plate extenders. I don't get as many days out of it as the one I used. The one I used before was the Deep Mio convex one. I don't get as many days out of it, but I find it fits more comfortable, and because with a prolapse you shouldn't really be using convex, so I try to use the concave because it does help that pressure. And then my urostomy is the Mio deep convex, which looks a bit there's no other shapes like it. It's got channels and it's a great bag. This is my favorite bag by far. I love this one. That's what I use.
I mean, Steffi, didn't you do a review? Is it Peak Medical? Peak?
Yeah, I'm not even kidding. It's my new favourite bag. And I've just yesterday I got a new type of their bags. And can you see that? The convex is oval. It's oval. And my stoma is oval shaped, so it's perfect. I like the fact that the material kind of has its own friction, so you can't just like accidentally open it and like see poop. I was showing Rachel on the phone earlier, and you can open the bottom, the spout, by putting your fingers in, so you don't have to try and like. Because I really struggle to pop it open, like any of the bags, to pop them open. Like I just must be daft because I can't do it. So these work really well for the fact that you just stick your fingers in and spread it, and it's opened.
Sorry,
I love them. But in my video, I did. Oh, I know exactly what you were laughing at, Louise. I tried not to laugh when I heard myself. But I'd said in my video for the last one I tried that they're only okay if, I think I specifically mentioned Louise because I know she's allergic to the brown backs. So it only works for people that aren't allergic to the brown backs. I mean, I'm allergic to the Mios, so I can't wear the Mios at all. I can't actually wear some of the Pelican bags because I'm allergic to the vitamin E in it. Weird, but it affects my eczema. It sets my eczema off. It's really weird. But if I've got high output, I'll suffer it because the high output bags are fantastic. But no, I'm really happy with these. And like when I got a belt for it, and it's like double loops. And when I saw the belt, I was like, oh my God, it's like 2 inches. This is huge. But I had it on for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours, and it didn't dig in. I've got a very big muffin top, and my lower stomach is more swollen than the rest of it. So I thought it was going to just dig in, and it doesn't. It's so much better than the thinner belts you can get. The only other belt that works really well for me is Jasmine's, but that only fits the Coloplast Mio at the moment, so it might be changing, but I can't obviously wear them. So, but what about you, Natalie?
Well, I use the Salts Confidence bee bags. I've got this one. I've actually just changed my order to get the larger bags, mainly for nighttime, really, so that I've got a little bit more capacity in them. I posted the review on the show page that I did back in, I think it was November when I reviewed them. But yeah, I just can't fault them. I love the colours. For a start, which is what a lot of people like. The material is really good. At first, I thought they'd changed the back because the back is just round, but they haven't. It's still the petal base plate, which I found is really good because it sort of moulds to the shape of your stomach. I've got a hernia, but mine's obviously not as pronounced as Steve's, and I find that that's just enough, the way it can mould around it, to keep it on. They've changed the bottom. I know some people are having issues with the Velcro, and I had it once where it sprung open by itself, because it's not actually the Velcro. The Velcro was really good, but it's the glue that sticks the Velcro to the bag was coming off. But I know they have changed that now because quite a few people said that they'd had that problem as well. But yeah, really, really happy with it. And like I say, comes in the 3 colours, black, stone and white. So I can colour coordinate my outfits with it, which I love.
I'm still using
all about the colour coordination.
You know what, I don't care about the colour coordination to me because the amount of support wear I wear and everything else, nobody ever sees the bag anyway. I'm still using the Pelican Pelican Platinum vitamin E bag. I can't fault it. The only problem I've got at the moment, and I'm actually going to ask one of the reps at PW on Saturday, where I've lost that much weight, my stoma site has actually dipped in, so my stoma's pointing out further, but I've got more of an indent of the skin, so the soft convex isn't quite cutting it, so it's getting under.
Oh, do you need a harder one?
Yeah, I need a harder convex because where my output is so acidic and bily because of the BAM, it's just breaking down the bag. It's just breaking down the base plate really quickly. And of course, where I've got that dent and where the output's getting underneath, I've just got a constant. It's nothing huge. It's only little, but I've got a constant sore red ring at the moment.
Where it sticks.
Yeah, where it sticks because I just need something that's a bit harder. But I can't use half the bags. that are hard convex or are harder because I'm allergic to the backing.
Do
I
they
have
do
the
a
best
harder convex?
solution.
Sorry.
Mine's only real quick, Steve. I have the best solution when it comes to the dips, because I have a lot of them since my stomach started swelling out of nowhere. These.
What are they?
They are the Peak Medical Varamate wedges. They're just basically a barrier seal in a wedge form.
Wow.
You can get them in the shape of like an oval, like an eye, if you need it. That's helping me have
what are they for?
Like harder convex.
How do you
know,
use them?
you've got like your barrier rings, your washers to protect around your stoma.
Yes.
These, because they're curved at the bottom.
I see.
You can put them round.
Yeah.
And
so you're getting quite a tight fit as well, aren't you?
Yeah, they're perfect. You can cut them.
Yeah. You might have to post them to me for me to have a look at, but I don't know if I'm going to be allergic to them. That's the main issue that I have.
I'm not even kidding. My stomach nurse gave me some at the beginning of the year, and you get like 60 in a box, and I only used like 3 at a time, and they're bloody fantastic. But
the thing is I tried with the base plate extenders, but you can never get them quite cut up small enough to get them round, and then you've got the overlapping, and then you've got where the output can dip and get underneath it because there's a ridge. So it's I need to see if I can find something.
I'll give you the code for them when we're finished. Okay. I'm not even kidding, they're fantastic.
I think a couple of people are asking on the chat as well, so you might want to pop the code on there.
I'm actually doing a review on them. So
pretty good.
So can you request samples, Steffi?
Yes, you can.
Right, that's good.
And who made them? Sorry.
Peak Medical.
Okay.
They have some in the shape of an oval with a little small circle in that you can pull out. I've got that to make the convex a bit harder because the bags are soft convex. The only bag that I've ever had that's deep convex is coloplast, and I'm allergic to it, which is bummer.
Yeah, the only deep convex I found was Welland, and I hated the bloody.
It's mad.
They just kept on falling off,
isn't it?
I think we all tried the Welland bags, didn't we? And we didn't get on with it.
I tried them when I was pregnant, and they just wouldn't stay stuck. But
I found a link, and I'm just going to put it in the chat.
All right then, lovely.
So how many bags has everyone trialed? Then I've probably I've tried about probably six different types, maybe 7.
I started off with the Dansac in hospital, which was always my backup bag, because it wasn't terrible, but it just wasn't as good as some of the others. I did the Mio, but just leaked constantly with that. I was gutted because I loved the bag and so much about it, but the filter was terrible for me, and like I say, I just leaked all the time. Then I used the salts, the one they still have them, I think. Is it Natural Advance or something? Before I tried the Confidence B. But yeah, the salts have sorted me right out. My skin is perfect with it. It just sticks really well. And now the Confidence B just seems to have all the extra features that I sort of wanted.
The salts Confidence, they've really come forward with their design, because I thought the last bags, I just didn't like the fabric on them at all. Just from an aesthetic point of view, they didn't suit me. They didn't suit me, but just the feel of them weren't right. Yeah, the coloured ones look
kind of like I don't even know how to describe it. It's sort of like rubbed off almost, didn't it?
Yeah.
What was that?
The kind of fluffed
the
up,
old
didn't it?
salts ones. Yeah. I mean, I stuck with them, and because I change my bag every day, it didn't seem to bother me as much. Whereas I think if I'd been wearing it for a few days, then it would have got worse.
They become like an old jumper, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah,
I think when we were down in Wales, the way you described it, Steve, was like a sack of oranges.
That was it. Yeah. It was. It was with the output. They didn't keep their shape. That's what bothered me. They kind of kind of fell like down like a bag with
See, all that stuff with the
fruit in it.
confidence B, they've sort of upped the game in every area. I think
that's what attracted me the most to the Censura. You know, they kept their rigidity.
They keep that shape, don't they? Yeah.
My first, when I had the fistula from 03 to 09, I was using Stoma caps. I couldn't even tell you where the Stoma caps were from. I can't remember that far back. But I was using Stoma caps over those. My first ileostomy, I think, was Dansac, and then I went to Hollister. Second one, I've tried Oakmed, I've tried salts, I tried the Mios. They give me Hollister when they discharge me from hospital, but I'm allergic to the adhesive, the brown tacky bit that goes around on the outside, but it's meant to give it the extra bit of support. And then I've purely been Pelican, apart from when we've been doing apart from when we did the bag roulette. And I
tried. Sorry, Louise.
No, and then I tried the Mios when I went on holiday in August, because the base plate's a bit more hardy. But they weren't staying stuck, and you guys know that I actually woke up with the Stoma bag like near enough on Ben and Bear Stoma in the bed at 3 a.m. So I haven't used them since.
I've tried 7 different companies, and 2 of them companies I've tried 2 of their different bags, and one of them I've tried 3. So Coloplast, I've tried both of their 2 pieces, the Click and the Flex, and the 1 piece. Danzac, I've tried the Novalife 2 piece and 1 piece, and the Peak Medical, I've tried their oval and round convex ileomate. And then I've tried everyone else's with the bag roulette, which at least we waited till I wasn't pregnant anymore.
I'll come off it. That bag roulette was just a really, really bad idea from me.
That did come in handy for me though, because a few weeks ago, I think I had a blockage and my stoma started retracting, and I was like, oh, and I still had one of your Pelican bags. Is the convex, isn't it? Because I don't use convex, so I was like, right, I'm going to stuff one of them on.
How long did it last? How long did it last on you?
Well, I changed it that night, so I went back to my bag for overnight. But yeah, it kept it out and it didn't retract any further. So
do you know what?
I was well happy.
In all fairness, the only thing that's happening, because I've lost weight, my tummy shrunk, so the Pelican is further down my leg now, and it doesn't quite tuck into my knickers the way it used to. It sort of hangs out of the bottom and flaps about a little bit. So I might have to see. But the thing is, I can't get on with the smaller bags. My output's so high. I'd be emptying a small bag every half hour, 45 minutes.
Probably about 2 years ago, you're on about high output. I went to a place in town in Birmingham where I think they paid me something like 60 quid, 70 quid for the day. I was there like 3 hours, and we were trialing bags. There was 3 different bags on that they were trialing. They weren't of any make or name that I recognised. I don't think they actually came. They don't think the name was on them. One of them was like a night bag with a tube for high output, mainly for people who have just come out of surgery. They're in hospital. They don't have to move, so it literally empties onto a bag on the floor. You know, which is a really good idea. But you know, there's questions like, would you use this? Personally, I wouldn't. I would rather get up in the night and. If you can't get out of bed.
Yeah, they do tend to stick high output bags on you when they first form your stoma, and they normally leave the high output bag on until if you've got a bridge, and you have to wait until the bridge is removed. That stops the stoma from sort of sliding back inside for where they obviously pulled it out from. But no, they offered me high output bags when I was in Pembury, when I was in December because of the stomach bug. But they only had the is it the large Coloplast output bags? Because I think they're one of the only ones that I know that the hospital was affiliated with, and I can't use them because they make my skin go icky. So
when I was in with, they suspect it was gastroenteritis. Nobody's told me what I was in with, but I was emptying my bag. It was filling up with clear water, and with every 15 minutes, and it was filling up that much that it broke down the adhesive on the high output bags, because I was wearing the Pelican ones that I had sent so that I could travel down to Cornwall without having to empty my bag so often. Typically that day my output wasn't high, so that was annoying. But because my hospital doesn't have stoma nurses over the weekend, I had to go back to a normal bag. And I'm not kidding, I regretted not begging Stephen to drive through with the high, not that I think he would have known what a high output bag looks like, but I'd have even just accepted the urostomy bag that we made when we were in Cardiff, because I needed to have, it was filling up my bags so quickly. I looked pregnant again from one angle. It was so, in certain situations, the high output bags are absolutely amazing, and I'm so glad that I did have the Pelican ones at home, because otherwise I'd have been screwed when I was in.
The high output bags, when I had the C. diff, was like an absolute godsend, because I'm not kidding with you. I had 8 litres to 10 litres output a day, and it was bright green. And so what we did is they gave me a high output bag attached to a night bag. So and I had just had the urostomy surgery, and it was just bright green liquid, and that's why I was tied 2 PICC lines, one for fluid, one for TPN, because I had to halt eating to try and stop the output, and then the stoma decided to halt completely and not work after I got rid of it twice. But the high output bags were a godsend, and the poor nurses that came to change it, because I don't know if anybody on chat has C. diff, but it smells awful. It's really dangerous with an ileostomy, and it's not talked about as much. There was somebody that was in the double bagger group messaged about their son, and they showed the bright green bag straight away. I was like, that's C. diff, he needs to go straight in, and he was really poorly in intensive care. And I think if it's bright green, not like a bright green, looks a bit like methadone's green, then it's C. diff, and you can tell because it has a horrible smell. But it's not really talked about. Like, it can be really dangerous if you have a colostomy or ileostomy either, because it just makes your output ridiculously high.
Oh, but sorry if you heard me shouting at the cat. Rufio had his testicles removed on Tuesday, and he got the cone off, and he's running about at the moment with no cone on, and I have to stop him from licking himself.
So while we've got the last 12 minutes, so we're going to talk about steroids. I know we've done it over the live chat, but it's not the same.
God.
Steroids.
The Tic Tacs from hell, Satan's little bastard. But also a godsend, a necessary evil to treat the cause. Oh God. The highest dosage of steroids I've ever been put on was 90 milligrams, and I think I was on that from when I was 26 weeks pregnant until 36 weeks. They'd upped the dosage because they thought that I was going to go into premature labour because of the flare and everything else. And they didn't taper me down off of the steroids properly. So I think by the time I'd hit 42 weeks, I think I was still something like 40 milligrams a day. And then all the shit happened and I woke up and I was still on IV steroids. But steroids, it's a real thing because there's so much uproar about steroids as a general whole, isn't there? Oh my God, I've been put on steroids. Oh my God, it's going to make my face blow up. It's going to be this, it's going to be that. But do you not think that steroids, I mean, I know you've been on them consistently for what, the last 6.5 years?
Yeah. Yeah, I got put on them when I was pregnant with Riley and haven't been off them since. They've just upped and down my dosage, basically. They work. I can't disagree that they work. For years, when I just had my arthritis, I used to have injections straight into my joints to help. And then with my eye condition, I have them for that as well. And I obviously also have them for Crohn's flares. And they do work, but they also do cause a lot of problems. My hip replacement wasn't due to my arthritis. It was due to steroids causing something called avascular necrosis. So it basically was killing off the blood flow to my hip bone. So my hip bone started to die off. So that's why I needed that replacing. And I was only 23, so obviously I was quite young. And then the highest dose I've been on was 80 milligrams. And that was only when I was only about 18 or 19 at the time. And it was the first time I'd ever been put on the tablet form of them. Because before that, it's always been injections either into the joints, or I have actually had them injected into my eyes before, which is just horrific. Yeah, they sent me completely doulet. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't focus on anything. I was working at the time full time, so I was still going to work. And then I just sit there like that at night time, like not being able to sleep. And I didn't understand any of it. I ended up going to the doctor after the first 3 days, just completely breaking down. I was like, I don't know what's wrong with me. And he said, it's the steroids. It's like you're on such a high dose. But since then, it's normally the highest dose is 40 they start you on, and then they taper you down. And I think the lowest I've been on is 15. And now they're tapering me down again. I've got to go really slowly because I've been on them so long. I have to take, so I started doing 15 one day and then 14 the next for 6 weeks. And then I did 14 and 13 on alternate days for 6 weeks. I'm down to 12 and 11 now. And I am flaring, but I'm determined to get off them. So I'm keeping going with the plan to reduce.
Now, just out of curiosity, are you still on the pred?
Yeah.
Have they never switched to anything anything else like the budesonide?
No.
And why not?
No, just because it's been a constant thing where I've flared, so they've brought me back in and bumped it back straight up again, or obviously put me on the IV and then I come out and but just to ask this now, and I know this it's not me being harsh, this is just me, but do you think that because of the amount of pred that you've been on and because of the amount of time that you've had it over, do you think that could be causing the other issues that you have been experiencing with your hip, your knee? No, it caused my hip problem, but that was years before I was put on them like this. I've not had them, I never had them in quite so much of a quantity before I had my hip replacement done.
But do you think that there's a possibility that you flare so bad because you're pretty much immune to most of the after effects that the pred has on you now? So when it does come to you being in a flare, that they don't work as well as what they may have back in the early days if they'd have picked up then? Yeah, no, they definitely don't work as well as they used to. And they've caused, I've got osteopenia now, which is like the precursor to osteoporosis. So not only are my joints screwed from the arthritis, but my bones, they showed me the x-rays. I've just got patches on my bones and they said this is just all steroid damage.
Wow.
So my kneecaps all damaged and not quite as it should be. And that's obviously from years of arthritis plus the steroid now attacking my bones.
Did you write an article about the steroids? I remember what somebody did.
I wrote a poem about it, didn't I?
I like the
10 things I hate about pred. No, I was planning.
What are the tablets? So I've been on them about 8 times throughout the last 3 years. Not so much the last 2 years. The 2 years previous to that, I've been on about 8 times, and they always put me on 10 tablets for a week, 10 tablets a day for a week, and then step down. As soon as I got to about 2 or 3, the flares would start again, and I'd be back up to the same dosage. And I can't for the life of me think of how many milligrams was in each tablet.
Like that's about 50. Yeah, they're normally 5 milligram tablets. Yeah.
I just remember, I remember the first couple of times I had them, they were brilliant. I felt on top of the world. I was like, no aches and pains. I felt that much energy. I was dreaming of toast. I was waking up hungry. I never eat breakfast. I never eat breakfast when I get up. I'd get up, I'd eat, and I'd constantly have an appetite. But one of the main things that really suffered with was sweats on the night. My pillow would be soaking every morning.
Steve, can I just ask you this, just random? Do you have night sweats with the Humira?
No, not at all. No, my drug combination with the Humira and the methotrexate, fantastic. I'm not going to fault them at all. No, I've never had night sweats with Humira at all. To be honest, I may have done when I was being treated with it for my colitis, but it never touched me.
I'm just trying to work out if the Humira has any steroid base to it, just out of curiosity, because when they took me off of the Humira last year, the 6 months before coming off of it, but I was on the high on the high dosage as possible. I had to inject once a week. It was with the ones that they had me on. But I was, for 6 months, I was the sweats, night sweats, mood swings, hair loss, body rashes because of the Humira. And I'm just, there's never been very clear, but I still swear to God that there is a steroid base to the Humira. I know it's a really weird thing to say, but I think it is steroid based. I don't know.
I'm not sure. I've never suffered with that through them. But the prednisolone, that was another matter. I would constantly be turning my pillow.
Yeah.
I think in a year I bought like 4 pillows because they were just ruined.
What from
I don't remember having that.
Yeah, just from
it was just keep it on.
My head and my neck was just like soaked. Every morning I'd wake up with a cold and wet neck.
Has anyone never been?
I honestly don't ever remember having that. I remember being put on 60 milligrams when I was 14 daily. It created a migraine that bad that I actually screamed thinking I was dying. My dad had to fly down the A1 to, I think it's the A1 that goes to Leeds, just so he could come and do one of the CT scans of my brain, because and then the nurses laughed the next day saying, oh, she thought she was dying last night. So my mum went ballistic. My mum was staying in the room with me. But I just remember getting the moon face. My moon face was really bad when I was about 16. I don't have any photos of me then at all whatsoever. To be fair, it was quite lucky that I managed to find 3 to share on my Facebook page the other day.
It was good that everyone got involved with that.
Yeah, no,
I found it really hard to post that though because I'm struggling with the BDD.
I think everyone did, but the fact that everyone got on it was a real good moment that everyone could show the pictures that they've probably been holding on to. You know what I mean, for years.
I really struggled to look at the photos from last year's ball because mine was really, really bad then. Mine, I've never, apart from after having Leo when I was put on them, I've never had the moon face until after I had Leo. But then obviously because I've been pregnant, I'd put on a bit of weight anyway, so I didn't really think about it and it pretty much went straight away. But then last year when I was in hospital, I had the anaphylactic reaction and obviously all my neck and my throat and everything swelled up. My face swelled up and it never seemed to go down. And then since then, I was on high doses of steroids at the time as well, on IV in hospital. But yeah, the ball last year and my brother's wedding photos, which is really gutting because that day was awesome and obviously they're lovely photos, but I hate looking at them because my moon face is so bad. And it's definitely getting better. It's not quite back to normal yet, but I'm more accepting of this now.
Just a totally random one. Graham's just messaged me and he said, do people know that if you have an ileostomy and you are on steroid tablets that they should be giving you the white ones and not the coated red ones?
Yes.
I've never had the
given the white ones anyway.
I was only ever given the white ones.
I was only ever given the white ones, yeah. But
I've never had steroids since I've had my ileostomy. Also, what I was going to say was, don't you find, the first 2 times I had prednisolone was brilliant. And then progressively they got less effective. And even to the point of, I remember first having cortisone injections in my backside for my hip pain. They started off really good. And then after a while, the pain from the injection was more painful than the actual hip.
I became addicted to prednisolone because my joints suffered really badly when I was on infliximab. I only ever had the 1 dose of that because I couldn't move. My dad had to carry me around everywhere. And I remember I would sit in my GP or my gastro's office and cry until one of them would accept and give me steroids. And they would only ever give me 1 week at a time because it started to screw my knees up even more. And my joints, I think I sent Rachel a picture of my joints when they started to swell up a bit. But I missed my rheumatology appointment in March for being in hospital. So I've got to wait till July. My joints don't flare in July. I'm really screwed. But I know that it's the steroids. They've just taken their toll, and I abused them massively. I wouldn't wean myself off. I'm such a shit patient. I would just be like, give me them all. And then I'd take them, and then I'd feel better. And then I'd just stop taking them. I would literally just stop taking them. I did it with the methotrexate. I did it with the azathioprine. Everything. I just went, boom. No, not taking it anymore.
You wrote a post about that, about the addiction to steroids. Have you written anything about it?
No, but I'm going to.
I think
it's on
that'd
my
be
list.
really good. It's a really good point because it's not really talked about. You think you get addicted to like pain medication, but it's not really talked about. It works the same way. I can understand.
I can understand how you
Do you know?
to them, yeah.
Do you know what? I think Guy's and Thomas's, they knew how much pred that I'd been on over the years, so they won't put me on it now. I think they treated me with budesonide on and off for 2 years under the service, but I haven't been on many steroids since then. So
I kind of think that a lot of doctors, well, I'm going from my personal experience, they kind of like keep throwing the same drug at something even when it's not working because they haven't necessarily got any answers. I can't believe that I went through like 2 years with probably 8 times I was prescribed the same drug, and then let's say the last 5 times it never worked until they decided to put me on a biological.
well, apparently budesonide as a whole is better for gastro patients because it's gastro-resistant and it doesn't have the same effects as pred because it's more predominantly for people with gastric issues. It seems like a weird one.
Now, Shelley did a post the other day about the pred. Now, I can't think for the life of me which one she said is better for Crohn's and which one is better for colitis. But it was one of them 2 drugs.
What, one of the ones that I said?
Yeah. I think it was the Bud. The Bud. Yeah, I think that. I'm not sure, but I think that was the one that was supposedly better for Crohn's sufferers.
Yeah, budesonide is Crohn's, budesonide is UC, but predominantly they use pred across the entire span of IBD.
I think
I had to wait till I was
at
kind of at death's door before they decided that biologics was the way. It's kind of like just passing more pred, more pred.
But do you know why biologics are so difficult and why they have to wait for literally DEFCON 1 status? Because of the funding and the panels
they
have to go to get it. It's ridiculous.
Prednisolone for UC. And somebody, Steve, would really like you to show the bag one more time.
Do you want to see the bag one more time? Right, there's the front. It's just like the old Mio. But the back is something else. It flips like that. So that's how it comes in the packet, sorry. And literally you take the back off. Which ultimately that's where its rigidity is, and then it flips like that, so you can literally stick it on your head, and it's going to stay there. It didn't take the sticky off.
It's really easy to put it on. You just put the stoma in, and then you put the bits around. You like flip it over.
I am the perfect
just out of
model
curiosity,
for this brand.
Just out of curiosity, guys. What's the dress code for PW that doesn't involve underwear until 3:30?
It's dressing gowns, isn't it?
Oh yeah, my meat. I'm going to run around in meat. Meat's in the washing machine at the moment. Meat.
I'm just wearing this, I think, or just a polo neck, or a scarf. I haven't worked out yet what I'm wearing for the actual day.
Oh, I don't know. It involves 3 hours of driving one way at the motorway and 3 hours of driving back down the other way with Maisie in the car. So I'm going to be needing a stiff drink or something.
Nice to meet Maisie.
Right. So we've decided steroids are the root of all freaking evil. Nobody likes them, but they are a necessary evil to treat the cause of IBD in its entirety.
I would like to see someone come on and actually back them up 100%.
I love them. I just told you I was addicted to them. I freaking loved them.
That's not what I was after, Stephanie. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? They work.
For every bad story, there's a good story, I'm sure.
No, there is. They work, but most people do get the same symptoms with it, regardless of what, because that's what they're designed to do. That's why you have the blue medical alert card. That
I don't think I got rid of a load of photographs of myself because, I mean, I'm a big lad anyway, but my face... I didn't want to keep them photos. There wasn't a time when I thought that I want to look back on these. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
It's kind of like it's a different. It's like if you look at someone from the 90s, an ecstasy tablet user, there's a look about them that you know that these people are on ecstasy. The eyes are sunken. There's a certain look, and it's exactly the same with prednisolone. It's a certain look that you cannot.
Yeah, I did a post the other day. Oh, can I hear myself again? I did a post the other day about steroids and when Dynamo had sort of first come out with these pictures and stuff. And I said, I think for me, one of the hardest things is seeing it physically in front of you. Like every day you look in the mirror, don't you, to get ready? And to see it every day was what got me. I mean, I know I've got an ileostomy and I see that every day, but I don't know. It's something about the face that you just can't hide it from anybody, can you?
I think I think we were the only kind of our sort of people are the only people that weren't really shocked by seeing Dynamo like that.
No,
which is refreshing. I tell you what, I bet
your mate mentioned it today, Robin, didn't he? He said, "Oh, have you heard about Dynamo?"
Yeah, it's one of them. We all know about it, don't we? We all know the side effects, the goods and the bads. It's a good way of. I'm really glad that he come out and showed himself.
I thought it was brilliant.
It was a fantastic bit of advocacy.
None of us like looking like that, do we?
No, of course not. But to the average Joe public, are just going to look at him and go, "Blimey, he's been eating some pies, hasn't he?"
Exactly.
I was going to say the pie reference. Like mine, Steve.
But you know what I mean? It's another way of explaining why. And then hopefully, someone who's suffering the same, who's going to work, and people are just assuming this and assuming that, they're going to realise that it's not that.
Well, at the end of the day, it couldn't have been a better person to raise awareness, because Dynamo as a whole, he's a good bloke. He's been raising awareness the whole of his career about his Crohn's disease. He's never hid it. And then you've got...
And he's never come out with any ridiculous
and then you've got twats like Sam Fryers doing another interview with, sorry, I might have had a bit of a hoo-ha on my page yesterday about Sam Fryers and the OK article. But what a div!
She wrote one just after my surgery, my ileostomy surgery 2 years ago, and I drew all over her face or ripped it out or something when I passed it on to my friend, my other friend Louise with Crohn's, and I was like, it won't cure your Crohn's. Ignore the stupid cow.
Do you know what, though? Her Instagram page is dangerous. I know that she's taken a few things off, especially after the whole CC UK uproar last year, when she said that Paul had cured her Crohn's with diet, and then they was peddling homeopathic remedies off of her Instagram account for me.
They might have put it in remission, but you can't cure it.
Exactly.
It's a combination of things that put you in remission, though, isn't it? Surely not. It's not just diet related.
Well, that's the thing. She might just be lucky and not be flaring.
But diet as a whole.
Because my nurse, the nurse and she's brilliant. She is. Her husband has colitis, and he was flaring really badly. There was talks about having an ileostomy, and then he's subsided, and he's heard nothing about. He's had no flare up for about 2-3 years now, and he was at the point where he was really bad. He was about to have a bag, and then nothing at all. So me and her get on like a house on fire with chats. Like, I go in there just for a chat now rather than just to see the nurse.
It's not that. Could you imagine if it was Carrie Grant that turned around and said that? And she's a major advocate for IBD as a whole, for CC UK. Could you imagine if it was her turning around and saying that homeopathic remedies work?
She's the woman with the really bright hair, isn't she?
She is the one with really bright hair.
Okay. I don't do
the dancing one. The dancing one.
No, singing.
No, singing.
Singing, dancing, it's all the same.
But there are some really good advocates that do a lot and raise a lot of awareness, and then you've got the likes of Sam Fryers that decides to stick her 10 pence worth in because she's doing the mummy diaries at the moment.
That's what annoyed me, was that it's jumping on the bandwagon because Dynamo was doing it, and it was like Dynamo's promoting kind of steroids and promoting flares, and that he's on steroids to help the flares, but she's completely 2 years ago said the other way, and now she's jumping on it, and it's like, well, it doesn't really make sense because you said that you cured it through healthy eating, so why are you jumping on it now? Completely. That's what annoyed me, because it's...
Well, I would say that having an ileostomy... Sorry, Rachel, I jumped in. I would say that having an ileostomy is 90% cured my colitis, with 10% to go.
Exactly. The minute you have your endeavour, you have no active disease left for your ulcerative colitis.
However,
you still can get the symptoms of the rest of the IBD because it's an autoimmune disease.
And I was crossing my fingers just in case, because I still feel like I'm flaring, kind of. But it's one of them.
Yeah, it's weird. You do, don't like? I mean, I know you've still got your rectosome, but I don't. Yeah, I still feel.
How come you sound like you're in a tunnel?
I don't know. Everyone else does as well, but I honestly feel like I'm flaring every so often.
Yeah.
But I don't have any active disease. I've got no rectal stump. So I don't know.
Do you still? I was asking Steve the other day if he knew, but do you still get like the phantom poo pain when you've?
Yes.
You do. Oh.
Yeah. I still feel.
I was like, I hope I get rid of them.
With a mucus movement, I still feel like I'm going to pop a big banana out, and it's not going to happen. But I still feel like it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I'm going to shock myself.
For those of you, when we sign off of this, you're going to see Rachel walking out and slapping him around the back of the head as she goes to the living room. But no, I think the general advice would be anybody with IBD as a whole, don't follow certain Friars because she's a div.
Mm-hmm.
True that.
True, and there's part of me that's really, really tempted to get her to come onto the show and invite her on just so we can rip her to pieces, but that's not being very nice, so we're not going to do that. As I think we've discussed that before back in the early days, and Steffi was like over my dead body. She knows. But oh dear. Okay, so right, we've clarified what types of stoma bag we like. Steve has the concave, the Mio, the Coloplast. Steph is trialing Peak at the moment. Natalie is using salts. Rachel is also using Coloplast, and I am using the Pelican vitamin E bags. I can't fault them, but I need something that's a bit harder. It's a bit more full on. Next week, I'm not actually too sure what we are covering next week because I haven't done the agenda for the show. I haven't done it. I forgot. I've had other things on my mind. So I will notify you next week as to what is going up, but no doubt it'll be quite a few screenshots from Purple Wings and me dropping videos of Steve half naked. As we run through this
makes me even more nervous than I really am. You know what I mean? I'm coming out in a schmuck.
I've already told Mark Wells he's not allowed to send me nudes because I for anyone that may have seen the sneak shots for the calendar.
Yes.
I was like, you can send me pictures, but no nudes, thanks. No.
Ankle sock.
But yeah. So good luck to everyone that's doing the catwalk. I'm absolutely devastated that I can't do it because I literally jumped down Paige's throat wanting to do it. So I'm absolutely livid that I can't go.
Well, hopefully we'll see you at the ball, Steffi.
Oh yeah, I'm not missing that. I haven't missed the last two.
I don't know, for those of you attending PW on Saturday, if you could see it and wondering why some of us have been laughing whilst doing the show, it's quite purely because of song choices that are popping up on the chat.
I know. Steve hasn't seen what I've written. I said it should have, what's that coming over the hill?
I think your woman needs a slap there.
She does, doesn't she?
I'm messing.
Right.
I'm messing.
Before we start getting abusive and getting the whole cat out of the bag, for those of you attending PW Saturday, we will see you there. For those of you not attending, no doubt it will be plastered in all its glory all over Facebook. But it's a good event and it's well worth attending because you get to meet like-minded ostomates. As for next week, not too sure what's going on, but I will come up with a game plan when my brain is working. So I'd like to say thank you for watching tonight. Steffi, come back for a night. It's brilliant. We've got a full freaking house.
Yeah, it's great having you back, Steffi.
It's great.
Wicked, mate. And
yeah, I'll say goodbye for this evening. Thank you for watching. For those of you on the chat, if you haven't already subscribed, please push the little red box at the bottom of the video. Thank you.
Rachel, Natalie, and I also, and Louise, we all have our own YouTube channels as well. So subscribe to them too.
Good point. And Steve does as well.
Mine's only little one though.
We're having the race to the conch. We both have the same ideas, so we're having the race on who does it first. Or we might just do it together.
But yeah, we'll say thank you for watching. If any of you have got queries about the bags that we are using, I will endeavour at some point tomorrow morning, in many of the things that I've got to do, to post all the links up for the bag reviews that everybody has done. So that's Steffi for the Peak Medical. Nat has already posted her Salts Be Confident one. Steve hasn't done one for the concave, but I'll post up links for that.
I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for the go ahead. All systems are go through 5.
What video tutorials? Video bag changes or something? Because I've already done one for Peak Medical. I've got another one to do.
I was just going to post up the blog reviews, so you know the ones that we've already written.
I'm doing a concave review, but I can't put it up before the 1st. But I've had permission; I can put that up the 1st of April. So I'll talk about, because it's for ostomies and all different types. So I'm doing that on the 1st.
Okay, so if we all say goodbye for this evening, and thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Ta-ta, bye-bye for now.
Let's say bye.